My name's Leanne Graham. I'm the CEO of GeoOp, and thanks for the NZX to give us the opportunity to talk today. So I've met a number of you through our investment briefings, but I thought I would, what I would do today is just give you a bit of background on where, how did GeoOp come about, what's the opportunity that we've got in hand, how we went about listing, and what we're doing going forward, and the channels to market as we sort of as we grow out there. So obviously we listed a couple of weeks ago, and which was a really exciting time for the team and everybody involved. And I've got a wee video I thought I'd show you. It's always embarrassing when you play videos and actually have to listen to yourself and watch yourself, so I'll probably squirm here a little bit on it, but so thought I'd give you a little video of sort of the excitement and the buzz in the room when we listed as such a young startup growth business. We're a startup, we're a growth business, we're a high risk business compared to the ones that that have been talking here today. So I wanted to talk about how we came about to thinking about why list and what's sort of going forward from there, and what we see happening in the market. So I've been in the technology space for over 25 years, and since the mid-80s, and I've obviously seen many technology changes through that time, and and through that, everything from sort of the mini systems to PCs and the age of the internet, and client server applications out there, and us putting data in the one place and so on, and then obviously moving forward to the sort of cloud that is a big thing being talked about out there today, and then to the age of mobility, which is really where we play. And my previous job prior to GeoOp, I was in the senior management team at Xero, and obviously went about sort of creating a go-to-market strategy for Xero, and it was there that I met the founders of GeoOp and saw what they were doing in the market. And what they'd done is had the sort of foresight a little under 3 years ago to start building an application or a business process application on a mobile device, believing that one day services and trades will start to want to move away from their pen and paper, the way they've always done things, and to do business process on a mobile device. Now obviously building that a few years ago, and obviously it takes time as you build this, what they started to see was some trends out there. In the first instance, they saw more sort of logistics delivery companies taking up the product because they wanted something mobile to take from A to B. But what they started to see as mobility became more of a reality here in New Zealand and internationally was that the more that the general people were using smartphones, the take-up was starting to really show that the services and trades were a space that was screaming out for such technology. So as a wee startup with the 3 founders and 2 staff, they basically just carried on developing the product, did no marketing, no advertising, popped along to a few Xero events, had no salespeople, and had one support person who was sort of part-time developer as well. And what I did last year was sort of made a decision that I wanted to go and invest in the business process community, because what we saw is that people were taking up cloud, but were they, and the next sort of big wave was going to be that people were going to want cloud or SaaS or mobile with the business processes. If you think of a business when they start, the first thing they think of is what are the tools I need to solve whatever it is that I do. I'm in retail, I need a point of sale. I'm in job management, I need a job management system. And that was all old solutions. So I really liked what I saw in GeoOp. I loved the fact that without any sort of sales strategy, without any execution, without the people, 85% of the business was of their customers were offshore, which actually meant that people were screaming out for such a thing, and they were searching for it. They were going and looking. So I joined the business in January, realised for us to really start scaling what was already a global business, or had a global opportunity, that what we needed to do was go and structure the business, structure the strategy, raise some capital to drive forward. So the first piece of capital that was obviously invested was myself, and $500,000, and then we went about 2 small capital raisings within the current shareholders, and the last one was while we were forming the board. So I had the opportunity, Cameron Partners got in touch and said, Ross, and said, you've left Xero, Leanne, you must be doing something exciting. I want to have a chat with you about what you're doing. So I met with them, talked to them about the business strategy and what we were doing, and talked to them about how we saw the business grow, which opportunity grow, which I'll talk about in a little while. So Ross talked to me about various types of capital raising, and at that time I said to him what I wanted to concentrate on more was forming a board and do a little bit of private capital raising, and while we make that decision to go forward. And it was that time I was introduced to Mark Weldon as a possible investor, and we spent a few hours together, and he was very, very keen on the proposition of the business and the possibility of it. And as part of that, I ended up asking him if he would chair our board, which thankfully he decided to do so. And also Viv Brownrigg, who I'd been working with for the last 4 years, while game-changing, I suppose, the accounting community, and she's a mentor in the accounting community, has owned a number of companies herself, which she has grown and exited. So she has really great skills in that small business sort of transformation and coaching space. So a really nice mix within the board, and we had the board formed, the board invested, and that took us to the next stage. We made a decision at that stage that multiple ways to raise capital, but we felt that as a listed organisation in a technology age that we're in today, and the opportunity being so big to really be in a race to go out there and be the global leader, or one of the global leaders in this space, was really there in our hands. And to do that and really make an impact internationally, we as a little private company trying to build big partnerships with large companies around the world would be difficult, and listing would be a great vehicle to be able to do that. And it also gave an opportunity for, in our home market, to sort of self-generate within having investors in the New Zealand market as we build forward. So that was forming the board, and obviously we went ahead and decided we'd raise $8 million prior to listing, and went out and spoke to eligible and habitual investors, and through that sort of 3 or 4 week process we were 3 times oversubscribed, and made the decision to scale and take the $10 million, and then a couple of weeks after that obviously listed. So what is the opportunity that we have at hand? We're a young business. From the disclosure document, you can see we've got 4,500 paying users. About 55% of those are in Australia, 17%, about sort of 21% with Australia and the US and Canada, and then a sort of a mixture over sort of 13 countries, and about 15% here in New Zealand. So what we have is where we can see that the world is really asking for this stuff in services and trades. So 60% and growing to 80% of the workforce is mobile out there, and in excess of 40% is in services and trades. And one of the things that I love personally about the services and trades sector, the more of the technology age that we live in, the lazier, I suppose, that we get, and the more we want built, serviced, fixed for us, the more we want done for us. So it's a growth sector, and it is all about putting people out there in the field. And when you look at that sector as well, for a lot of these people, a smartphone is actually the first computer that they've ever had. So we are truly transforming a sector that hasn't taken up computing, and mobility is the base factor that enables us to put business process in their hands. So when we say services and trades, what is the focus inside that? There's a lot in services and trades. So from the trade sector, we're talking about sub-trades, so all your general sub-trades, so thinking plumbers, drainage and so on, so everything through sub-trades. And when we're thinking about the service sector, that's everything from, cleaning companies to could be air conditioning servicing companies, it could be anything that actually goes out and service. So we're what I'd call a horizontal vertical solution in the market that puts job management in the hands. So what is job management on the mobile device? It's all about being able to schedule using built-in GPS so that you know where all your people are, and you can see where your jobs are so that you optimise being able to put the job to the right person and optimise the amount of efficiency, let's say, that you can get that a business can get from their day. The other thing that it does is when it pops up on the individual's phone or iPad or Android device, and soon in February, March we will release the Windows version as well, that they now know what the job is all about. It gives them turn-by-turn directions to get there. It tells them any details about their job. It has attached designs or pictures or specifications already there for them to look at. It allows them to add parts or add materials to the job while they're in the field, and produce quotes, produce purchase orders if they're buying parts, take photos, signatures and so on, so all the proof of what's actually going on within the job, and in fact invoice it, which will automatically end up in their accounting system, and also take payment through integrated payment gateways. So an end-to-end solution out there that would have taken literally, in some cases, days and weeks for that process to go through by the time the paper finally got back to the office and the quote was finally done, and then the work was finally done and the invoice was finally, and when till we finally get through to payment. And that is a massive, massive pain point inside the business. So when we think about the pricing, we have put it to market at $20 per user in the field. So your administrators are free, which is always a small number of staff in a services or trades business, and in the field it's $20 per field worker. So if we think about that in the services and trade space, and the average hourly rate, let's say, that they charge to do work is $60, if they can save 20 minutes in a month, it is a really great return on investment for them. And and that it's literally, the thinking proposition for them is it going to save me at time and make me more efficient and make my business more profitable? So how are some of the ways that we are going to market? So to date, 95% of our business is through direct. And what I say by direct, we're talking about people searching us in Google, going to our website and clicking on a free 30-day trial and having a go. And or going to the App Store, the Google Play as a store, or the Apple App Store, downloading it, creating a trial, and getting going. So that's certainly going to be our main channel going forward, and some of the ways with the investment is putting sort of fuel under the fire of that to massively increase that funnel of trialists that come through. And there is a number of ways we're doing that, through online marketing, through mobile marketing, through content marketing, thought leadership marketing inside the industry sectors and so on. And we've obviously been investing in the staff and team and the marketing team to do that, and we're certainly starting to see some really great traction in that funnel coming in. The next part of the next channel, I suppose, to think about is our, which drives business, is our through our API or integrations. So we currently integrate with, from an accounting system point of view, with Xero, FreshBooks. We have an integration with MYOB, which will get better with their new API so that can be more live. And our intention is to integrate, obviously, with all the global SaaS products, SaaS accounting products in the world. We also have integrations with DPS for payment gateways and St George's Bank, and again, and we're working with a number of banks and a number of vendors for furthering those integrations as well. The other areas are stock management for more complex businesses. We have integrations with Unleashed, and there is another number of integrations that are being worked on from a stock management point of view. So if you think of GeoOp centralised as the core business process solution for job management, they want choice in the various other things that they want to hook in or connect to around their business with accounting and CRM and payments and marketing and various other tools. And so we are building out that integration ecosystem, and what that does is via their app stores as such, that drives more business back to us, and that's a very big channel to market. As you can imagine, in the US, for example, with FreshBooks, have a very large customer base in the US that is driving a lot of our US traffic to us. The other major channel for us is associations. So everybody in the services and trade sector belong to a master something, or an association that they have to get their various annual or updated education or certifications and so on. And via those channels, there are a number of annual events and content discussions and promotions and so on that we're able to do through those associations. So we have been building out our sales teams to form those relationships in associations locally and internationally. The other two channels, or three channels that are important, are the accountants and bookkeepers are a channel for us. They are more of a referral channel. It is not a strategic channel in the same way as an accounting system needs the accounting and bookkeeping community, and they're obviously all very close to my heart. And there's a lot of them that have become partners of GeoOp, and they are putting GeoOp into their client base and providing advisory services. But that's secondary to their thinking, and those are becoming referral and service partners for us. The other one is telcos. So we have a partnership with Telstra in Australia. It is, a reasonably new partnership. It was launched late June, and what they have done is taken our API, application program interface, and integrated it into their provisioning platform. Now, what that means is that that Telstra can add GeoOp to their bill. And provide an app in there. Why would Telstra, a business like Telstra, want to sell apps to the market? They've taken 3 apps that they've taken on as their core apps at this stage, us being GeoOp being one of them. And what they see is that mobile applications, assist them to drive sales of iPads and data devices out there. Obviously, for telcos, the prices of the data plans are obviously coming down, and the device costs and so on are coming down as well. So that adds value to and gets them deeper into that business workforce. So we are doing a number of events and partnerships and advertising, co-marketing with Telstra in Australia, and we'll talk more about how well that's gone as we go forward. And the other area which we are working on and starting relationships with is around banks. And again, it is about that mobile payment out to market. So we have many verticals and many channels, I suppose, that allow us to get to market. The one most important is via the direct. So if we go back to direct again and think about how that happens. So we have a funnel, we market out there to drive more people through it. They have a trial with the product. We are investing heavily in development. So we've got 35 staff at the moment. We will have approximately 50 by the end of the financial year, so end of March. And they are being put into areas of the business that allow us to drive conversion. So we currently sit at a 13% conversion rate from trial. So that is a cold trial, turning up, found the website somehow, decided we'll create a trial. And with a no touch through the process, 13% become paying customers. Now, which is actually an SaaS metrics, actually is quite good. But what we see is a real opportunity to increase that conversion amount by doing some strategic things inside the product to make that process from try to pay or fully engaged within their workforce that much easier. So one of the fundamental things about our product and about our business and our growth is about sticking with simplistic, intuitive. So if we think about the industry sector that we are serving, it is an industry sector that are experts in what they do, whatever that is, not in complex technology platforms. So what we are doing is providing them something where we are trying to take away as much of that process engineering that we do. So one of the ways we are doing that is we have invested heavily in UX and UI design in the business. So you'll see some really great changes. We're proud of what the product is today, but it's over the next 12 months, it'll really transform up another level in that user experience and how our users interact with it and migrate through that process. So, what's the what does the future look like for us? Right now we are concentrating on setting those core foundations of the business, putting what I like to say the A-team in place and the expertise across the business here in New Zealand, centralising marketing, finance to support and development. And growing and putting people in place in the countries that we are focused on. Those countries are obviously continuing to grow our home market, the Australian market being our main growth market right now. We have an office with 6 staff in Melbourne and 1 in Sydney. We opened an office there that was in August. We have just employed our a month ago, our first employee in the US. Our disclosure document says it was going to be San Francisco. He happens to be from Denver, Colorado. He's got some great stories to tell about that as well. And a fantastic individual who has had a proven track record in this exact space and in the US. And we'll continue to grow out the team up there as well to build those strategic partnerships within associations and so on. We have one of our founders in the UK, so we have a branch in London. Our main focus in the UK right now, though, is to build out the integrations with the accounting products up there. So we've, as the disclosure document outlined, when we were going around doing the investment briefings, we talked about 4,000 paying users. We haven't released our half-year numbers yet, but they will be released in the next few weeks. But one of the parts of our half-year numbers was putting into the disclosure document that it was 4,500 users, and the disclosure document also outlines that we're looking to by Q1 have 6,000 to 7,000 paying users. But it's all really for the team right now is sort of buckling down and focusing on scaling that growth as we go forward and drive the future value of the organisation, and I suppose win the race to lead in this massive technology shift that we're sitting in, which is moving into mobility and taking the biggest sector in mobility and serving a business process in their hands. This is just such a momentous day for us. You know, we've had such a journey to get us to where we are today.
Well, I think the fact that we have such a proportion of our customers offshore already, 85%, shows you what the opportunity is. We've got to execute on that opportunity, and that means a lot of hard work, a lot of detail, and we've got to get there first.
Look, I think it's just the global market. It's software as a service. Companies can make money while people sleep.
I think it's fantastic for the company and also for the capital market.
What's really exciting about this is that it shows that New Zealand can take on the world. We can grow great technologies here. We've got the capital markets that can fund them here. And there's no reason why the tyranny of distance has just disappeared, and it's because of these revolutionary new technologies.
Yeah, look, I think for the GeoOp team, for the staff, for every single person in the organisation, you should feel extremely proud of the vote of confidence that the market and a bunch of dispassionate investors have shown in the company that you have created. And really it's over to you to drive it forward and participate in its success. So congratulations, and look forward to sharing some great times with you.
So celebrate, please, enjoy every single moment of tonight as we begin this journey. This is just the beginning. We are here to absolutely prove the success as we go forward. To my team, take a moment and enjoy tonight, and because next week this journey really begins. So thank you, everyone.